Hey Aquarius, Mel, Intuitive Coach here, excited to bring in your quarterly reading for October, November, and December. All right, let's open up your energy field and take a look at what is unfolding for you over the next few months. You have here Aquarius exchanging gifts at the bottom of the deck, number 27. Some of you may be born on the 27th, or perhaps you are seeing that number sequence in your life, perhaps in your telephone number or even your home address. But exchanging gifts is about reciprocity. It is about you receiving blessings because you've also been putting out good energy. You have gifts within yourself, and I feel like you are being of service in some way, and that service is getting recognized and it's coming back to you tenfold. I feel like there are miracles that you are witnessing over the coming months. This also tells me that you have spiritual gifts, Aquarius, and these spiritual gifts of yours could be increasing or enhancing. Hence the ballerina coming out of the box here. It feels like there is an expansion here of consciousness, but I feel like there are some new beginnings coming in for you. Yeah, you're starting off with the Ace of Pentacles, which is a gift because all aces are. And it feels like you are unwrapping this gift with gratitude. It feels like there's acceptance here, there's appreciation, and I feel like it's going to shift and alter your life in a really profound way. Bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Swords here. The Five of Swords is an energy here of perhaps a person or a situation that has taken advantage, or perhaps it feels like there's been manipulation involved here. This can even be your own mind hijacking, your success or your growth. It limits you in some way. It tells us stories that are based on lies or based on, what the ego says. And I see here with the Five of Swords, some of you could be dealing with an energy that feels quite angry. It feels like it's not fair. There's conflict here in some way. Maybe this is between you and another. It could be regarding a circumstance or a situation that you have experienced, or it could even be some sort of hostility or anger that's bubbling up within your own self here, Aquarius. And I see that you want peace, you want harmony, you want that to be restored in your life, but it's difficult when this Five of Swords comes in because it's like you're playing with fire. And I feel like even though this is an air sign, I am getting the energy of like playing with fire. Now, the Five of Swords also represents, our intellect, our thoughts, our power, and you may be going through a bit of a power struggle with someone who may feel a bit arrogant, or maybe they put on, a facade based on money, based on status, based on looks, based on prestige, whatever it is here. It feels like there's a label that somebody uses and wraps themselves in, because you can see that this woman here on the illustration is very flashy. She's very ostentatious, very showy, and it comes across as arrogance. And I feel like you may have dealt with someone who would use their title to manipulate or to get ahead. And I see that this is something you are walking away from, or something you're healing from. And it feels like you have been doing a lot of praying, a lot of, inner work to restore harmony in your own life. Right below this, we have the Star. So this is an understanding here. This is an understanding of perhaps the behaviors that have been at play in your life. And I feel like you could even be connecting with a therapist or a teacher or a guide or a mentor, someone who can help break this down in some way. It could be a professional of sorts. Maybe it's a lawyer. It could be, anyone here who can help you see things perhaps from a new viewpoint or a different perspective. But I see that you've done a lot of healing around this energy, and it does feel like it could be someone, in your circle, maybe someone that you've worked with here, or your family. It could even be, an adult child here. It feels like there is a bit of that ego that has played out and caused some sort of instability here, because I am seeing again the Emperor showing up. So you have two major arcanas below this Five of Swords, and that tells me that this Five of Swords has actually created a lot of challenge here, because the Emperor, it can be someone who's very controlling, very cold, very, greedy, very possessive, maybe even has at times narcissistic traits or qualities. And that's something you are healing from. Now, moving into October, you have this beautiful yin energy. Now, yin is the divine feminine principle of receptivity. This is about you being open to understanding, being open to healing, open to new opportunities. So I don't see that you are closed off here. Like I said, with exchanging gifts at the bottom of the deck, you see that she's popping out of the box here, because there is a gift that is unfolding for you, because you have been aware enough to take a look at some of the struggles or challenges that you have faced or that you have gone through. But instead of placing blame, or instead of pointing fingers, I feel like you are saying, what can I learn from this? Or how can I evolve from this? You're not letting yourself, stew in some sort of anger or bitterness. It doesn't mean that you haven't felt those feelings at one point, but I feel like you are using those emotions to become better, not bitter. And I can't say the same for the other energy, because it feels like the other energy here has created this block, this barrier of arrogance, or of mental strife, that it's difficult for them to connect to others in a way that you are able to. And it's about evolution. It's about growth. It's not about anyone being better than another, but it feels like you understand this on a deeper level. You're more aware. You may be more spiritually evolved. And when it comes to perhaps your career, you have dealt with maybe bosses or people in the workplace that, were using their labels or their status to manipulate or to get ahead. Or it feels like someone may have been very money hungry, very focused on finances only, without taking into consideration, how other people feel. But in the month of October, you are receiving, I feel, a gift. There is a gift. Let's open up your cards here and see what's coming in. I love this. You have the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Five of Pentacles, and you have the World. Yes, this is about your stability. You have laid some good, strong, solid roots for your own self, perhaps for your family. This is a fresh start. This is a new chapter opening for you, Aquarius. So this could be an increase of wealth. This could be a start of a new job or a new, income opportunity. For many of you, it could even be like an inheritance. It could be a financial win or a reward for your hard work. Now, someone could be jealous of you. That Five of Swords could be jealousy. Maybe someone wanted your job, or perhaps, there was someone that you were working with. Maybe it's a coworker or a client, and it just feels like you had a hard time growing, because it feels like this person was trying to distract you or trying to kind of pull you back into their energy. And that can be distracting, especially when we don't have as strong or as clear of boundaries as we would like. We can get very sucked back into that drama. But I feel like you have been doing the work to clear your energy, clear your space. And this is about, new beginnings opening up here, the start of a new life. There's a new job here, or success. This is also about physical health and well-being. And to me, that is wealth. Our health is wealth, because if we are not feeling healthy mentally, physically, emotionally, or even spiritually, it is going to flow out and affect every area of our lives. So when we start to feel better, perhaps you've been low on vitality. Perhaps you've been lacking certain vitamins, or there's been deficiencies, or you haven't been eating foods that have been uplifting you. Perhaps you've been feeling more drained. But I see here that you're taking care of yourself. You are taking care of yourself, and you've had to persevere. You see here on the Five of Pentacles, it says perseverance. And this tells me that even though you've had some financial hits, some financial struggles, the Five of Pentacles is saying that you have been humbled. You have been humbled. Some of you have even went through maybe bankruptcy or debt. You may have been left out in the cold, or there's definitely been some financial or material changes, or changes in health or someone else's health around you. And I feel like there's a gift here because you didn't give up. You kept putting, one foot in front of the other, and you've been doing the work, doing your due diligence to come up with a solution here to increase your flow of abundance. And that's what I see changing here, because you have the World. The World as your major arcana, Aquarius, is powerful. Okay, thank you, Spirit. I'm hearing the name Justin. Justin could be significant. I'm also getting like Justine or Justin. Could be your name or someone that you've worked with. And I'm also seeing a big J. Okay, J could be someone's first name or in their initials, or maybe that is their name, J. But when you have the World here, this is the end of a major journey. You've completed a cycle here that has been quite difficult. The Five of Pentacles isn't a fun one. The Five of Swords is not a fun one. But 5 and 5 equals 10, which represents a new beginning. And you have here this victory. There's some sort of victory. There's some sort of win that is offering you maybe liberation. This could even be travel. Some of you could be moving. I see a definite new beginning coming in as soon as October for you. And I feel like your journey at times has felt prolonged, or it's felt like there's been a delayed sense of gratification. So this is about enlightenment, and Spirit is reminding you that not only do you have the wisdom to move into this next chapter of your life, this new era. It feels like this is a complete era shift for you, but the world is your oyster, and you are opening up to unlimited potential, unlimited possibilities here. So whatever it is that you are starting in the month of October, whatever this gift is that's showing up for you, it feels like this fulfills you in a way that maybe nothing ever has. It feels like this is internal happiness that exudes outward, and there's also major victories in your outer world. So October is looking good after a period of, again, feeling a bit stuck in that 5 energy. 5 can be obstacles, it can be conflict, it can be uncertainty, and even change being initiated. And we can fear change because we are creatures of habit. We like stability. We like to feel like the ground is solid below us. And when it's not, it shakes up our entire world. Now, in the month here of November, you have the Observer. This is about you witnessing what's going on around you without being an active participant. So it doesn't mean that you're not, participating in what you need to, not at all. It just feels like you're listening to understand instead of listening to immediately react. Right? It feels like you want to understand how things are happening. You're wanting to make, choices that can help you, and you're not gonna make rash decisions. You're not gonna just jump in without thinking things through. And so I feel like you are the witness here. You're kind of watching how things are done. You may be in a bit of, a training. It's like a training period in a way, especially if this is a new job. Like you go into a new job and you're kind of getting a feel for things. There's a lot that you're trying to learn, but you're not going in on day one saying, I know everything, right? Not at all. It's like you are the observer and you're seeing how systems are done and how people are communicating with each other. And you're kind of just feeling things out intuitively and logically, mentally. You're just getting a feel for the situation because things are changing up here for you in the month of October and flowing into November. It just feels like you're getting acclimated a bit to some of these changes. And your clarifiers are Justice. So we have another major arcana here. We have the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords. Wow. So some of you could be creating or finding balance between you and another individual, perhaps two queens here. And I'm also getting you finding balance between these two archetypes within yourself. This is the head and the heart. And when the head and the heart come together, when they are finally in harmony, that is alignment. It's oftentimes when the heart is going in one direction and the head is going in another, Aquarius, that cognitive dissonance is created and we feel misaligned. We feel like we're being pushed and pulled and tugged and we don't know which direction to go in because our heart wants to move in this direction and our head is saying, but you can't do that, or you're not going to get that job. Or, when both of these tools of ours are on the same page, that's where magic happens. And it feels like you are using your intuition here to guide, but you're also using that brilliant mind to help you move forward. Like the mind is saying, okay, how do we do this here? Let's figure this out. We know what direction we want to go. This is the path that we want to take. It's connected to our heart. It's connected to our passions, our intuitions, our desires. And now the head is on board saying, let's do this. Let's make it happen. But I still feel like you are observing the situation, you're getting a feel for it, because that's what's going to help you move forward as well, instead of just jumping into it with no knowledge, right? Jumping into something without having any additional information. So that's why you're feeling things out here. And I see that there could be someone that you meet or connect with as well that could help you in some way. Someone who gets their answers from their head. Someone who is, going to tell you how it is. That Queen of Swords, she can be a bit blunt. She could even be a lawyer. She could be someone who fights for justice. The Queen of Swords energy is maybe even a psychologist or an open thinker, an open communicator, where she's helping you in some way, maybe even with the legal system. There may be an act of justice here that you are currently going through, maybe a settlement or court or alimony or custody. Maybe something that you're kind of sitting back and letting the professional do what they need to do. And maybe that's standing up for you in some way, but you've been an active participant, but now it's your time to watch how something unfolds. So again, for example, let's say you are dealing with a legal situation and you have hired a lawyer, and this lawyer knows what they need to know. You've already given them all of the information and they are the one that is helping you, standing up for you. And, in the courtroom, it's going to be your lawyer who is helping you, and you're the one who kind of sits back, but they do the pushing, right? They do the negotiation. They do the heavy work here in a professional way that, honors you as well. And it feels like that's what's happening. And maybe it's not a legal situation for you, but it does feel like you could be embracing more of that Queen of Swords within yourself. And it just feels like you are in a much better space to create balance in your own world, in your own life. And I love the heart showing up here for you, because it means that no matter what, the highest good of all is what is unfolding here for you. Now, with this justice energy, I do feel like there's an energy of like what goes around comes around, right? What goes around comes around. And you know that, you understand that. You're working with perhaps the universal spiritual laws, like the law of karma, the law of, cause and effect, the law of attraction. And you are trying to rise above the fray. You're rising above the Five of Swords. There's something about like not fighting dirty. You don't need to fight dirty. You have to fight smarter, right? Fight smarter here, because that's what's going to help you move forward. Like fighting for justice. You're not going to fight against the ego, but there is something about fighting for justice here in a circumstance or a situation. Now, moving into December, you have here and now. This is a month where I feel like you're very present with the people around you, with your loved ones. You're very present in the face of change or even adversity. There's another opportunity coming in for you. You see that there's an egg, and eggs represent new beginnings, but they also represent, handling with care. Just like you would with, a carton of eggs, you're not going to throw them into a bag. You're going to be conscious of what bag they are in and, how you handle that bag, because you don't want to get home and you have a dozen smashed eggs. It would be pointless. And I feel like you are handling a situation with care. And this could be you treating yourself good as well. It feels like you have arrived. You are exactly where you are meant to be on your journey. All right. You are exactly meant to be where you are supposed to be. On the red flag here, it says you are here. Like you have arrived at this moment in your life. And it feels like you are taking it all in the month of December. It feels like there's a part of you that is able to return to peace. So whatever you have been going through, it has disrupted your peace in some way, Aquarius. And you have the moon. You have three major arcanas. You have the moon, you have the hanged man, and you have the hermit. This is a powerful combination, So in the month of December, it feels like you could be going a bit inward, right? Spending time with the people that you care about, leaving the external world to itself, right? You're not going to allow the distractions to interrupt your peace here. It feels like you have surrendered in some way, or you've let go. You're seeing life through a new lens, through a new perspective. And I see with the hermit here, the hermit is saying December could be more of an introversion month for you, Aquarius, where you are spending time doing things that, help you increase your own intuitive strengths with the moon here. You're focusing on, reducing the stress in your life, focusing on hobbies, passion projects, your own career. Like, how can I step away from the challenge to still keep peace of mind, but still be responsible when it comes to your career or your family? And it feels like you are finding that balance, especially with justice here. Now, you've gained solitude. I see that maybe the path that you have been on could have felt a bit lonely, and you may be waking up saying, okay, something is out in the open, because oftentimes the moon can be things that are hidden from our views. But I have a feeling there's been truths over the next few months. There will be truths that are exposed here, and by these things that are hidden coming into our view, it allows us to shift. It allows us to wake up here and move through any sort of hang up or delay that you have been going through. It's like the divine pause that I don't always love. I remember when I first started learning tarot, I did not love the hanged man, because nobody likes to feel stuck. Nobody likes to feel like their life is on pause. Like, when is this going to happen? Sometimes the ego wants things to happen in our timing, and we try to do everything we possibly can to speed things up. But, it's just like it's just like baking apple crisp or cookies in the oven or a cake, right? You put the ingredients together, and that's what you've been doing over the past few months, maybe even the past few years. You've been putting all of the ingredients together. You have it in the pan, and it feels like you've been wanting to pull that pan out of the oven, but what happens when you do? It's not fully ready. It's not going to be, as good as if you were going to let it fully get to where it needs to be. And that's what's happening for you with the world in the month of October. It's like, okay, something is finally ready to be pulled out of the oven, and it's like you're waiting for it to cool off. So over the next couple of months, it feels like there's that cool off period, but by December, it feels like you're finally able to take a slice of that apple crisp or that pie or those cookies, and you get to indulge in it. And I feel like there's a breath of air that or like a breath that you are taking, like a breath of fresh air that's coming through here. Even though there are some anxieties here, it's like your nervous system is resetting, and you are spending some sacred time with yourself, and you're allowing yourself to pause. So now this pause is coming with more like reward, more gratitude, because it's not forced and it's something that you've actually been craving. But now that you're able to be in the midst of this new beginning, it changes perspective here, because in the past, maybe that new beginning wasn't quite available. It wasn't quite ready. You weren't able to take it out of the oven, right? So I feel like things are shifting, and you're more present now. You're more active when it comes to your relationships or your career. And so there is something beautiful unfolding for you. And that's why you have exchanging gifts. So I feel by the end of 2025, you're moving into the new year with a completely different mindset than maybe you have right now. I feel like you are opening yourself up to new ways of seeing situations that are going to help you expand, help you increase your income, help you strengthen relationships, and help you ultimately learn, grow, and evolve, because you're someone very smart. You're someone very intelligent. And you may be educating yourself either traditionally, or you could be learning a new skill set here through, a workshop, a seminar. Perhaps you're listening to podcasts, or you may be writing a book. It feels like you have that thinking cap on, and you are coming up with ways to grow, and it's working. So lastly here, Aquarius, let's get some themes here, or not themes, but let's look at some quotes. And if you want to be entered into the free reading giveaway, all you need to do is drop in the comment section your favorite quote, saying, phrase, or even affirmation or words of wisdom that you have kept with you that have inspired you. Maybe this is something that your grandfather had said, or your mother. I feel like this portion is so important because words do hold magic. They are like spells. That's why it's called spelling. And read other commenters as well if they have commented, and see if there are words that inspire you, and drop them below. Let's spread that love a little bit. If you don't have one, if you're drawing a blank, you can take one that I'm about to read you and drop it in the comment section, one that stands out to you. I will also enter you, Aquarius, into the free reading giveaway. All right, we have here Eleanor Roosevelt. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Yes, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And you are a believer. And if someone, maybe this Five of Swords is that voice in the past of someone that told you you couldn't. Someone that told you that you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not good enough, right? This is saying, let's push through that voice, because that voice may have been a projection of their own insecurities. It was their own perspective. It doesn't mean that that is the truth, okay? So this is about you following your dreams. Zig Ziglar is reminding you that you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And sometimes that Queen of Swords can represent perfectionism, and perfectionism can keep us stuck. It can keep us from waiting until it's perfect, right? Waiting until that recipe is perfect before we serve it to our family. Waiting for that book to be perfect, or waiting for the timing to be perfect, or, the way we look, or our health journey. I feel like you are being guided here not to wait. You don't have to be great to start. It doesn't have to be perfect to start, but you do have to start to be great. Next, we have, in seeking happiness for others, you will find it in yourself. Yes, you will, Aquarius. And lastly, you don't have to be perfect to be amazing. So again, perfectionism. So some of you may struggle with that, Aquarius. I know myself, I have struggled with it. I'm an Aquarian moon, and this is something that, again, going back to, you don't have to be great to start. Sometimes you have to just do it. And even if there is that beginning stage of something, the world is opening up for you, right? You have gifts, you have skills, you have talents, you have curiosities. Lean into them. Don't hold yourself back because you're fearing being judged, you're fearing being criticized, or because maybe someone, again, is not showing up in a way that supports you. Don't let that distract you from your purpose. So Aquarius, that is what I have for you, beautiful souls. You are undergoing some beautiful blessings, beautiful miracles coming through. I feel like, yes, the Five of Swords, even though it's at the bottom, it feels like that's your catalyst. It feels like that is going to be the point that kind of kicks you off into this new energetic shift here with the Hanged Man, with the World. Yeah, we have the Hanged Man, with Justice, with the Hermit, with the Moon. I mean, you have a lot going on within the next few months, but it looks like you are open, you are receptive, you are staying present. These things are all going to help you when it comes to, shifting your consciousness, raising your vibration here. And even if you have to separate yourself from time to time from the noise, from the static, from social media, from, the distractions, whatever it is here for you, take some time out. That's a big message that's coming through, is take some time out. Maybe it is, an hour out of your day. Maybe it is, a weekend getaway. Maybe it's a vacation. You may need to take extra time out, because that's going to help you see things from, a different point of view. That's going to help you grow and evolve. So thank you, Aquarius. Please do drop your favorite quotes or sayings in the comment section. And if you are interested in a personal reading or signing up for the monthly newsletter, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video.